The Arizona Cardinals had an amazing come-from-behind victory against the San Francisco 49ers, and the Green Bay Packers stood strong as they beat the Los Angeles Rams. Now, Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals will fly up to Green Bay to take on Jordan Love and the Packers at Lambeau Field in this Week 6 matchup. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan. We're going to break down this Week 6 matchup between the Cardinals and Packers, talk about the matchups within the game that you need to look out for, and at the very end of the video, give our predictions on who we think is going to win and why. But before we get into that, we do have a goal of getting to 100 new subscribers for this Week 6 prediction video series. We've been able to hit that goal over the past couple of weeks thanks to all of our new members. So thank you. And if this is your first time here, or if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to the Tracy Take. Leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win and why. So, Ryan, Cardinals were the benefactor of a collapse by San Francisco in the second half, while the Green Bay Packers stood strong against the Los Angeles Rams here and came out victorious in a 24-19 victory here. Both teams, I think, are heading in the right direction. Packers, we saw the potential last year, and I think that they're getting back into that form. We saw the fun and exciting energy from the Cardinals last year, and I think Kyler Murray now starting to pick things up a little bit as well offensively. Is going to make for an interesting kind of season in this NFC West matchup, as a lot of teams are very close within that division here. Want to throw it over to you, though, talking about this matchup here. What are some of the key factors in your eyes that both teams need to accomplish to come out victorious this Sunday?
Yeah, one of the things I think the Packers need to do is stop the run. They are, I believe, probably around an average run defense in the league. This James Conner and this Cardinals team, they're pretty good at running the football. And so if the Packers can come out and stop that and put more of the pressure on Kyler Murray to push the ball down the field. Outside of Marvin Harrison, this receiving room still definitely needs some work. So I think if he can force them to have to beat them, or if the Packers can force them to have to beat them that way, I think that bodes well in their favor. And then also, I think establishing the run and helping keep this Cardinals defense on its heels. Once when they start getting going downhill, I think that's when this Cardinals defense is at its best. And if the Packers can kind of go and get them on their heels and start pushing the ball down the field early, I think that they are going to fare well in this matchup.
Yeah, I will say they do have – Michael Wilson had 5 catches for 78 yards. Trey McBride came back. I think that was the biggest addition.
Yeah.
So I can agree with you. Like, Marvin Harrison Jr. is absolutely the future. I think all those guys are good role pieces. But in a matchup like today, where Marvin Harrison Jr. was getting the top coverage, all those guys provided good assistance.
Yeah. No, and that's – I know, like, they have other guys that are going to make plays. Marvin Harrison Jr. to me is the only one that's a threat on every single play. And Trey McBride is a good receiving tight end. And I was a fan of Michael Wilson coming out of the draft. I thought he was the best wide receiver at the Senior Bowl that year. And so, like, I do think that they have other options. However, I will take one-on-one coverage with Marvin Harrison Jr. or with Michael Wilson. I will take one-on-one coverage with Trey McBride. I will not do that with Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah. Well, and that's going to be a fun matchup here. Is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. versus Jair Alexander. Because if there's kind of maybe an area that in the Cardinals haven't hit their ceiling yet, is going to be this passing game. And so running-wise, though, they are almost at their ceiling. They're one of the top rushing teams in the league. And so on the flip side, though, then the Packers as well, offensively now with Jordan Love starting to get them back into that late season form that we saw last year, which is kind of scary, I think, for the rest of the NFL. If it's like now they're hitting that stride even this early on. And so I think there's still some areas that they can keep shaking some of the rust off as well. And if Christian Watson gets healthy and if he's able to come back, that would be very interesting also on top of that. But kind of moving deeper into this game here real quick, I assume the Packers being at home, also just the better record, just the kind of better team as well, are going to be the favorites. By how much, though, I'm not sure. Be sure to check the link down below. BetUS has a bunch of good promotions going on right now, and you can check out the odds for this Cardinals-Packers game and also all of the other Week 6 games as well. So I think that's going to be probably the biggest factor to me. Is one of the things the Cardinals were able to do today, especially in the second half, was stop the 49ers and create turnovers. Some of that, I think, was also self-inflicted by the 49ers as well. They just kind of collapsed in the second half. Yeah. But that being said, though, Before that, though, in the first half, they were able to put up 23 points, really with, I'll say, little resistance. Cardinals don't have one of the best defenses in the league. They are 25th in total yards allowed, 18th in passing yards allowed, and 28th in rushing yards allowed. And so there's definitely going to be opportunities here for this Packers offense, who is top 10 in every category, third overall in rushing yards allowed. So this Cardinals defense is going to have to get some more takeaways, get some more turnovers, hope for some more mistakes by this Packers team, which team that has seems like they don't really make that many mistakes, give a lot of opportunities and a lot of options to Jordan Love to pick from. On the flip side, then too as well, the Packers defense probably their greatest strength when it comes to statistically right now. They're 11th in overall rushing yards allowed, and that's going to be probably the strength of this Cardinals offense. They're fourth. Pretty sure they're fourth. Yeah, they're fourth in rushing yards. James Conner, Kyler Murray is a great combo. Trey Benson in the backfield as backups only going to keep getting better as well. And so both defenses aren't particularly great, but looking at this though, I think the Packers can kind of withhold it a little bit more because they know like they're kind of built to play a shootout. While the Cardinals though, they have a lot of explosive tendencies as we saw today with Kyler Murray's 50-yard touchdown run. Marvin Harrison Jr. can absolutely break free and connect. But I think the biggest X factor overall is can this Cardinals defense somehow find a way to contain Jordan Love, Jalen Reed, Josh Jacobs in this offense here, because I just think it's going to be curious. I'm going to be curious to see, because I feel like the Packers can be more diverse in their play calling.
Yeah, that is, I think, kind of not to get into predictions too early in this video, but like I love how well the Cardinals play and how hard they play. You can really tell Jonathan Gannon does a good job of getting that locker room on his side. At a certain point, though, you do need more just talent. And they have some young talent. It's just not quite experienced enough at this level of football. And for me, I think looking at this game, I think this Packers offense will eventually be able to, I think, overwhelm this Cardinals defense. Because at first it might be enough to kind of hang tight. But I think eventually this Packers offense will definitely have their way. And that's not to say like I don't think the Cardinals could keep up if this game turns into a shootout late. But it is going to be interesting, I think, to watch how this Cardinals defense tries to defend Matt LaFleur and this Packers offense for 4 quarters.
Yeah, no, I'm going with Packers as well. I just think over a 4-quarter game, just from what we've seen from the Packers here, is I think that they're going to just be able to just outscore them. And so the Cardinals are definitely going to get their punches in. And
yeah,
maybe this is a big confidence win for this team as well. But I think defensively, they're just going to be a little bit more deficient than the Packers team. Going to be trying to stop Marvin Harrison Jr., trying to stop James Conner and company.
Yeah, and I also think like this Packers team isn't resistant to mistakes. Like you go look at that Minnesota game a couple of weeks ago, and they made a ton of mistakes that gave that game away early, and then they almost still overcame it. But that's the key is they still almost overcame it, and they made a ton of mistakes early on in that matchup. And I think some of that was just Jordan Love coming back, knocking the rust off in week 4. Like kind of mistakes, whereas like I didn't really see any of that this week. So I'm, or if it's not clear, I'm going with the Packers too. I think they're just going to be the better team. Let's go ahead. We'll wrap this one up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Arizona Cardinals or the Green Bay Packers? And on that, we'll see you guys next time.